Welcome and thank you for joining us for the public transit presentation. Today we are going to talk about the Ontario public transit system, types of local transit, accessibility, and ride sharing. So let's get right into that. The Ontario public transit system looks at the various types of there are two services provided by municipal transit system, the conventional public transit system, which serves the general public and operates mainly on fixed routes with fixed times. And then we've got specialized public transit services. These provide door-to-door transit services to disabled individuals who meet the criteria. So within the Greater Toronto Area, I'm just going to focus on this particular area simply because to focus on the entire Ontario, I wouldn't have space to complete all of that. So we're just going to look in the GTA, as we call it. Now, in the GTA, we've got Brampton Transit, we have Burlington Transit, we've got Mississauga or My Way fares, and we've got TTC fares and passes, YRT and Viva. And there's also Hamilton, and there's GO Transit and DRT fares. Okay. So these are just some of the names that you will hear as you get more involved within the system. Now, there are different types of local transit. So if you take a look here, we're looking at buses, streetcars, trains, subways. We have a link that we could show you riding public transit in Ontario. Now, that link is, let me see, it is from a video that talks about different public transits and the way that when you're riding on the transit, what happens. Because this is a rather short presentation, we won't play that video for you, but I wanted to just give you a quick look at what it looks like. So we've got buses and we've got streetcars. This image right here, let me just highlight that for you. This image right here, this would be what the streetcar route would look like. So there's some cables that are, you can see the cables right here. They're suspended. These are the cables. And the streetcar somehow attaches to these cables, and then it runs on these tracks that you see here. When there are no streetcars, we can actually drive on these tracks as well. So right as you see it here, a car could be going along this road right now. So that's kind of, I mean, when I first came to Canada, I thought, wow, this is insane. I've never seen anything like it. So if you're new to Canada, then you're probably going to feel the same way that I did when I first came here. And this is kind of what our buses look like. So we've got buses, streetcars, trains, and subways. All right. Additional public transit or transportation, if you go to www.cdnmto.gov.on.ca, you will find some additional information on public transit. So we've got the taxis, there's Uber, there's rideshare, and there are cycling programs. These cycling programs, or you can just have your own bicycle, but we do have places where you can actually find bicycles that are, you can rent them and use them downtown Toronto. So again, I focused a little bit on the different kinds of taxis and different mediums that you can use that are a little bit more private than the buses and the streetcars. On our next slide, we will take a look at the bus system and rail travel. So you've got GO buses, you've got the Greyhound buses, there's Coach Canada buses, and the Megabus. Go to www.gotransit.com, www.greyhound.ca, www.coachcanada.com, and www.megabus.com. Here you'll find all the information that you need on these different bus systems. The Go Transit is the regional public transit service for the Greater Toronto and Hamilton area. And then we've got Greyhound that services all of Ontario. Greyhound is actually the largest provider of intercity bus transportation in Canada. Coach Canada services the southern part of the province from Windsor to Montreal. The Megabus services Ontario, Quebec, and the United States at a really low cost. And Canada Coach offers premier intercity motor coach service at a discounted rate. So there you have it. Via Rail is also, this is rail travel. We've got Via Rail, Ontario Northland Rail, and then we've got the GO Train. Do visit their website. You can see right here, www.viarail.ca, or www.ontarionorthland.ca, and www.gotransit.ca. Via Rail offers convenient travel to all major cities in Ontario. They have about 73 locomotives and 426 train cars. They also have 121 stations that services over 400 communities across Canada. So you can see huge, very reputable. Ontario Northland Transportation Commission is an agency of the province of Ontario that provides efficient and vital transportation services in northeastern Ontario. The GO Transit is Canada's first and Ontario's only inter-regional public transit system, linking Toronto with the surrounding regions of Halton, Peel, York, and Durham. So let's take a look at how you pay when you ride the public transit. So you can ride public transit by you can pay using cash, and if you're going to use cash, you have to have the exact fare. You cannot get on the train or the bus and expect that you're going to get change back. You can't. You have to have the exact amount that you need that is required for your fare. And then we've got Presto. Presto is actually universal. Well, no, I shouldn't say it's universal because it's not yet, but they're working to make the Presto system one that is used throughout all of Ontario. What happens is you load your Presto card. So your Presto card is almost like a prepaid credit card. You load your Presto card, and when you get onto the bus, the train, or the streetcar, you simply need to tap your Presto card, and you'll hear a beeping sound. That means you've been charged, and you just move along. Then we've got what is known as a transfer. Transfers are given to you when fares are paid in cash and the passenger needs to travel on one, so you need to travel on more than one buses or a train to reach your final destination. So when you pay your fare, the bus driver will give you a transfer. If you don't have a Presto card, you'll get a transfer. You can also use tokens. I should have added that here, but you could also use tokens. The government's trying to phase those out, but you can also use tokens to pay your fare as well. And then you will get a transfer. And the transfer will take you from one bus stop to the next it's good for 2 hours, for 2.5 hours, okay? Now, we couldn't have done this without talking about public transit etiquette. Many people on the transit get really offended when, they find themselves stuck in a situation where they're like, okay, this is uncomfortable for me, but nobody really wants to say anything. So what has happened is the City of Toronto have gone ahead and they've created a public transit etiquette book. I don't have a copy of the book with me, but we came up with some of the nice things or the to do and the things not to do while you are on public transit. So here goes. Now, giving up your seat. Some of us come from countries where giving up your seat is not necessarily something that you would do, right? Well, giving up your seat here in Ontario and in Canada as a whole is something that we tend to do quite often. And I mean, I've lived in this country for over 20 years. And when I first came here, it was not something that you would ever even think twice about. Someone would get on the bus or the train who is either pregnant, they have children, or they're elderly. And we would just get up and give that person your seat. So this is something that we would like to emphasize here in our presentation as well. Now, the headphones, if you're listening to music on your headphone, please keep the volume in check. Not everybody want to hear what you're listening to. Backpacks are another big thing, and large bags and purses for the ladies who take everything in their purse, like their dressing table and their bedroom and their washroom and everything. You know, we ladies like to carry a lot of stuff in our purse. If you've got a big bag or a backpack, you could perhaps, if you're standing, put it, leave it on the floor between your legs or something, because it does take up a lot of space. If you take a look right here that I'm highlighting, you will notice that this is a backpack. These are two backpacks, actually. So these two are wearing backpacks, and people are not liking that because they're actually taking up two spaces where, a space where perhaps two people could actually be standing. So please be conscious of that and leaning on the poles. There are some people who will stand on the pole and lean their whole body on the pole. Please do not do that. The poles are actually there for people to hold on to and help them to balance themselves as they go forth. If you are not feeling well, if you're coughing or you're sneezing, let's say you have a cold, try to stay away from public transit. If you absolutely have to, because you need to get to a doctor, then if you got a cough or you have to sneeze, we ask that you do that just like the picture you see here. Use your elbow to form the V and cough or sneeze inside that V. We don't want everybody getting your germs, right? Never hold the doors open. This is something that I guess people don't really understand. If you can't make it in time, wait for the other car. Don't hold the door open as other people are trying to get to work. And be polite. If you step on somebody's toe and you're realizing that, oh, I stepped on their toe, don't just walk away. Just say sorry, or if you got to pass, say excuse me. Oh, this one is really bad. Don't take up two seats. Do not sit on one seat and take your purse and put it on the other, or your backpack and put it on the other, or you sit in the seat and put your feet on the other. No, we don't like that. Talking on your phone is another one. When you're talking on your phone, I am from the Caribbean, and I've seen a lot of people who tend to do this. They're talking on the phone, and this is something that we do back home, talking on the phone, and everybody on the bus can hear what they're talking about. Please don't do that. People actually get offended, especially when you're having kind of sensitive conversation, private conversations. We don't want to hear what you're talking about. Feet on the seats is something else that we do not like. Please do not put your feet on the seats, even if you've taken your shoes off. In fact, that's even more gross. So please don't do that. The buses are generally clean. Do not leave garbage on the floor. Someone actually cleans that up, and the next person that comes in after you does not want to see that. Grooming on the train or the bus is another big one. I've seen people come on the train and try to shave their faces or cut their fingernails. Please, please, please. We don't like that either. Eating on the train or the bus. I know that you may be hungry and you may need to eat, but if what you're eating has crumbs that could fall on the floor, then you're making a mess, number one, for the other person who's going to come in. And number two, if something that you're eating has kind of, food generally has a smell, whether it's fruit, vegetables, or, even bread sometimes have a smell. If that's the case and you're eating something, you know what? Try just not to eat on the train. Do it when you get off the train. Have your pass, like your Presto or your tokens ready. Please do not hold up the line, especially when people are trying to get to work. they will get very upset with you, especially during rush hours. So that is something that we wanted to talk to you about, and I hope that that has helped you in order for you to have a nice, comfortable ride on the bus or the train. Now, let's talk accessibility. Accessibility for those people who have disabilities. If you notice, we have lift ramps in the pictures that we've placed here. We've actually placed these pictures for you. Here is a lift ramp. So this is the road. And as the bus pulled up, the driver lowered this ramp here. The passenger is simply rolling her wheelchair onto the bus. So, and no one had to help her because that's the accommodation that we do have. Here in the other image that we have, as you can see, we're showing you the accessibility symbol. This right here means that these seats can be folded either up or down. Someone who's got a scooter may want to just park their scooter and stay right here. Or it may be that the person is in a wheelchair. The wheelchair needs to be parked somewhere, and right here would be where they would do that. Now, if you notice down the aisle, it's quite long and wide. It means that this person can actually also run their wheelchair down this aisle here. So we do make accommodations for those who are disabled and absolutely need to get from point A to point B. And as we'll talk, you'll see a little bit more about the different preparations for those who are disabled. But I got to tell you, I love this country simply because of the little things that actually turn out to be really big things. If you've got children, your children could potentially go to school on a school bus, depending on the proximity of where you live in relation to the school. So they'll get a school bus. We've got health transportation. That would be the ambulance that could be sent for you if you are not feeling well. You can actually call 911. They'll send an ambulance. And then there is also social transportation. There are some agencies that serve those with developmental disabilities. Daycares will also sometimes provide their own transportation. So absolutely. For those, again, with certain forms of disability, we also have Mobility Plus and Wheel-Trans that are specifically designed for those who've got disabilities and may need to be picked up. You could actually call and go in for an interview and have a scheduled time when you're picked up from your home and also from work. It's called subscription booking. Ride sharing, we have vehicles that are parked all over the city, and you can actually become a member of a ride sharing service. The members can rent cars by the hour. There is insurance, gasoline that is included in the rate, and you would need your driver's license and a credit card. Some of these ride sharing services are Zipcar, Enterprise Car Share, Car2Go, and Community Car Share. That's just to name a few. There could be several others out there, but these ones we thought it'd be nice if you knew that. Now, we've got the Orientation to Ontario resources. Our website is www.settlement.org/O2O. On our website, you'll find workbooks, fact sheets, group workshops that you can register for if you are already here in Canada. We've got 26 agencies that works with this project, and these agencies offer group workshops. So if you're close by, please do check that out on our website. You can register through our website for one of those sessions. There's settlement.org. That when you go onto settlement.org, you'll find various other information. On our website, you can find our settlement organizer, their online checklists, and you can also join us in live webinars as well. Please do check us out. The Orientation to Ontario project is funded by Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada and the Ontario Ministry of Citizenship and Immigration. This project was designed to help newcomers in Ontario as they transition from newcomer and integrate into Canadian society in Ontario, and also to help them make better and more informed choices. Costi Immigrant Services is the community-based multicultural agency that serves over 39,000 clients annually right across the Greater Toronto Area. We've got 17 different locations, and we're the coordinating agency for the Orientation to Ontario project. If you'd like to contact us, please do feel free to do so at o2o@costi.org, or you may call us at 1-855-626-0002. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you at one of my live webinars where I can answer your questions if you do have additional questions that you'd like to ask. And please do visit our website. Thank you once again for viewing this presentation. Have a good day.